With the recent surge of bundles popping up, there are more and more games I'll play that I never would have heard of otherwise. Inferno Plus was recently included in the Indie Royale Spring Bundle for a relatively low price. It was by far the most interesting sounding game in the bundle to me, a twin-stick RPG shooter. One of my favorite real-time roguelikes of all time is Triangle Wizard, so as you might imagine, hearing that another game of the same genre existed made me ecstatic. Inferno Plus was released by Radian Games for PC on January 24th of 2012. The site describes it as a twin-stick action RPG. It plays like a standard twin-stick shooter, with the mouse controlling the direction you shoot and WASD controlling your movement. You're equipped with bombs that blow up all enemies on the screen, drones that follow you around auto-targeting enemies, and a shield that will block incoming damage. Inferno Plus is rather light on the RPG elements. You can pick up cash on the ground to spend on upgrades for your ship, like wall-bouncing lasers and additional drones. The system will dole out upgrade points which go hand in hand with the cash. You need to spend these points to be able to actually unlock any upgrades. The problem is, upgrade points are handed out at only certain points of the game. Instead of ever being bottlenecked by my cash, I was always waiting to be given an upgrade point with an overabundance of cash in my pocket. For the most part, upgrades don't feel very significant, which removes much of the joy of seeing your character become stronger. Aside from shooting rather generic enemies, there's a very small amount of exploration in Inferno Plus. There are 40 stages to blast through, some of which contain secret bonus exits. The majority of these secrets involve bumping against walls until you find one that's actually passable. At the end of each set of 10 stages, you fight against a large boss. It was rarely exciting, which brings me to my next point. One of the biggest issues Inferno Plus has is the complete lack of difficulty on its normal mode. I didn't die once in the game's 40 stages. I suppose I could have bumped the difficulty up to hard, but I've always felt like the standard default difficulty is the way the developer thinks the game is meant to be played, and thus should best represent the overall gameplay. Inferno Plus looks decent enough visually, but it never really impresses. There were a couple points in the game where colors blended a bit too much and I would end up getting hit. I'm normally pretty good about being aware of my surroundings. I can last forever in games like Geometry Wars. Inferno Plus might just include a bit too much clutter on the screen to be able to fairly track what's going on. With the string of incredible gaming soundtracks being released, I was relatively disappointed by most of the music. There weren't any standout tracks. It was mostly a mix of strange trance and techno. I'm getting a bit frustrated by games needlessly tagging their descriptions with role-playing game. There's not much role-playing to do here. There's no depth in any of the game's mechanics, there's very little character progression, and most of the common motifs of the genre are missing. This doesn't mean it's a bad game, it's just a bit misleading. I did enjoy my time with Inferno Plus, but I really wish it were harder. If you're looking for a decent twin-stick shooter, I'd say give this game a try.